guys, welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy VI. Last time, we made it through the veldt to the town of Mobley's, and along the way we found this kid who seems to be running around with monsters everywhere. So this time, we're going to see what we can do about that. Well, here's some guards, which we're not worried about. These guys are from the beginning of the game. They'll die to normal attacks. That's sad. And, well, nothing seemed to happen. Now, the interesting thing is, Gaw will only appear after battle some of the time. So if he doesn't show up, I will cut until he does. There we go. Now, he's hungry. So in order to satisfy the kid, you need to feed him the thing that says in the item description, "Eat when hungry." And we give him the dried meat, which I'm guessing is just like beef jerky or something. Wow, he sure jumps a lot. Thou art so odd. Thou art odd. Cyan and Savin. Me want more food. No more for you. Besides, I only bought one. You go, get more for me. You're a regular munchkin. Now, I'm not sure what the original translation called for because my stupid thing does not want to work in battle, but, yeah, that sounds about right. And you, afraid of me. You want to fight? Me don't want to hurt you. Why are you looking at me like that? Oh! Well, they're... That was fighting? Is that supposed to be Dragon Ball Z fighting? They're moving around so fast and delivering blows so fast I can't really see? That was fun. You strong. Oh! Now they're jumping faster. Dancing, huh? Kind of looked like they were dancing. Good leader. Simmer down, sirs. Oh, wild one, who might you be? Thou? Thou, thou? Thou, thou? Thou, thou? Thou, thou? Are you mimicking him for any particular reason? You angry? And here's another part of the censoring, even without a translation array here. I can tell you this. Using something like this, where you don't finish the sentence, but let, you know, basically past experiences and past lines and kind of more culture than anything else explain, you know, saying a line like this, we just instinctively know because we're kind of a part of society. This kid has a very limited grasp of language from what little we've seen so far, and he seems to be half raised by monsters. So he probably wouldn't get this nuance. It's the same thing if you try and talk to like really young kids and it's like, you know, like they answer the phone or something like that. It's like, can you go get your mother? Uh-huh. And then they don't. You have to tell them directly, go get your mother. Okay. Because they don't understand, or at least it takes them a while to grasp the nuance of, you know, we say things, but a lot of the time we say them in a roundabout way, at least in English. I'm not sure how other languages handle it, but we, especially in English languages, say, we work around what we're actually saying instead of saying things directly. It may be why some other, like, people from other cultures come here and they start learning English, and a lot of the time they're perceived by natural English speakers as being very direct, almost rudely so, but it's just a different way of looking at it. It's just not so roundabout like we tend to do. But yeah, Gaw seems to understand. He's not trying to be mean or anything like that. We can't have you two prancing around all day. I think we're gonna get on well together. Why don't you join? Oh? Give you presents. Oh, you're gonna give us something in thanks for the food. Well, isn't that nice? What manner of rubbish do you suppose he's gonna? Gauze treasure. Shiny, shiny. Everybody likes shiny. Shiny, 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 shiny. Very shiny, apparently. Does Mr. Thou like shiny thing? Thou's that one, over there. Oh, so he was talking to Sabin. He was calling Sabin Mr. Thou. Think of how jealous Locke's gonna be. That's great. Just think about it. The treasure hunter doesn't have the shiny. Sure, he wants the shiny more than anyone else. He might try and steal your treasure, but I don't think he's a bad guy. He just likes treasure hunting, quote unquote. Listen when someone's talking to you. Why are you dancing around in a circle? Carry on. Here. Shiny thing here. Uh-huh. Oh, so he's like drawing, I guess, on the ground, which we can't see. Now we go to Crescent Mountain. Shiny thing there. And luckily we found out where the Crescent Mountain was, or at least that the Serpent Trench was near there. And, well, we saw on a little cutscene there where the Serpent Trench started. So we have a general idea of where this area is already. That's a good question. Are you moonwalking? Mr. Thou, hurry! Sabin and Gaw have this nice little repartee going there. That's pretty cool. And we get completely unrelated strange music that has very few instances of use in this game. And, well, it's here. How to build up skills. Choose Leap, a command that only appears when you're on the veldt. Keep fighting on the veldt and Gaw will reappear and have learned the attacks of the monsters you were fighting when you leapt and returned. This is such a terrible explanation of it, and is probably one of the reasons why people don't understand Gaw very well as a character. Many people call him uncontrollable or weak or just not very useful and don't bother to work on him. If you work on him, he's one of the most broken, abusive characters in the entire game, and he is really, really good. Please continue with your quest. Well, thank you. That was Kappa the Imp. In the original Japanese, it wasn't the imp status, it was the kappa status, which is a creature in Japanese mythology. For some reason, they changed it to imp so that I guess Western audiences would have some idea of what they were talking about. And whatever. Doesn't really matter. We have Gaw, a new party member. Gaw comes with the Rage ability. The Rage ability lets him transform, not physically, but basically use the AI script of various monsters, and as you can see, he already has a few of them by default. He doesn't have very many good ones. In fact, the only good one he has is Brawler, and, well, the way it works, we'll do a few battles here, and I'll do a bunch of the stuff off-screen, because this is going to take a while. But building up Gaw is a time-consuming process, but it is entirely worth it. The way it works, he can rage and basically use an AI script out of any of the enemies that he encounters. When you use the Leap skill, he disappears from the field. So in the meantime, just use Brawler. It's the best ability he has that he currently has access to, unless it misses. basically the way it works with the stone attack, it has a muddle effect when it hits the enemy. Doesn't work if it misses. And it also has an 8 times damage multiplier if the enemy is the same level as Ga. So it can be incredibly powerful. It can also hit all enemies. It's not really good often, but when it is really, really good. Here is a particular battle where we want to learn one of the enemies here, Pterodon. So what we do is we select the leap ability, and someone gave me darkness, which has no effect on anything. Now, what happens here is Ga will learn the abilities, or the AI scripts basically, of any of the enemies in that battle, the one where he leapt. Now, he will also learn the abilities in the battle that he comes back in. He can only come back in a standard battle formation, so something like this, a pincer attack, he will not come back after this fight. It's not possible for him to do so. So anytime there's a pincer attack, you can't get Ga to show up again. But yeah, he basically leaps, and this command is only available when he's on the Veldt, and he'll leap, learn the abilities of the enemies in that fight. He won't learn any of the abilities of the enemies you fight in between then and when you get him to show up at the end of battle, just like he did when you first gave him the dried meat. But he will learn the abilities in that battle as well. So only the battle where he leaps and where he comes back will he learn the AI scripts for those particular characters. And I'll show you what you have to do when Ga shows up. But yeah, he basically learns the attacks of the enemies that he interacts with on the Veldt. For enemies to appear on the Veldt, you must have completed a battle with them before, either by winning the fight, running away, or in very rare cases, here's Ga, you can actually get, lose the fight but not get a game over, and that will count as well. It's a very rare occurrence, but it is possible. There are 255 rages that Ga can learn. Very few of them are worthwhile, and Cyan is berserked. That's unfortunate. Hopefully... Okay, so yeah, if you don't attack him right away, Ga will give you this message. Sadly, with Berserk, he almost screwed it up there, and if you take a look at our skills here, we'll have learned some new abilities here, including Pterodon, those grasshoppers we were fighting. I think there was Hornet there and Nautiloid or something like that. But yeah, we learned those ones. Pterodon is another good one that we actually want to learn. And basically the whole process here is just run around a little bit and run into some fights. And when you run into one of the enemies that matters, you'll want to use Leap. Robite is not one of them. You can fight the enemies you want, if you want, as you're going along, but you don't have to. Now, when Ga uses a rage, he has a 50% chance of using a normal physical attack and a 50% chance of using a special attack that is only one of that enemy's physical or special attacks will be like his main attack. With Pterodon, it's an attack called Fireball, which hits all enemies. Ghost, I don't care about learning anything in this fight, so we're not worried about that, so we'll just attack these guys. So yeah, when Ga rages, he uses the special abilities of those monsters. He also takes on the innate special and status effects, status immunities, elemental strengths and weaknesses, and elemental, like absorption and stuff like that too. He uses his own magic and vigor stats in the damage calculation though. So it's kind of a merging of the two different ideas here. So yeah, 50% chance of a normal attack, 50% chance of using the monster's special. Each enemy has their own unique special that works with Ga. We already have these guys. We don't need to worry about them. The advantage of fighting on the Veldt and trying to learn rages for Ga is you're not going to gain any additional levels. You only get money and whatever drops would apply from the fight. So as you can see, we're not going to gain any levels doing this, and it's a minor amount of grinding that doesn't have a huge impact on kind of how the game works. The downside to Ga raging into a monster is you no longer can control him. So it's a double-edged sword. He has the ability to do a special or a physical attack, and that's pretty much all he'll do for the rest of the fight, or until specific situations will stop him. Alright, we're going to leap in this fight too, because the Hazer enemy there is a useful rage to get for Ga here. Alright, you keep moving around. So you learn rages by using leap on the Veld, and if they are learnable, not all enemies are learnable. But you'll learn, like I said, from all of the monsters in the battle that you fought, or that you used leap, and in the one that you get them back. I'm just going through my notes, making sure I'm not missing anything, because I tend to do that. I know certain things, and I basically explain off the cuff and then double check my notes to make sure I don't screw anything up. When he comes back, he will always be replaced in the front row for some reason. Generally, you want him in the back row because his physical attack isn't what you're going for. If you look at his stats here, his physical attack is decent, his magic power is less, but his magic power is where all of his or not all, but most of his specials lie, and those are the main reason why you want to use Ga. This is another battle formation where you're not going to get Ga back. On a back attack, it won't work. Will you use the special for Hazer there? No. Each of the enemies, like he'll take the enemy's attack animation too. Each enemy has their own attack animation. It's usually based off of like a specific weapon type. In this case with the Hazer, it was like a rod or a staff type weapon type attack. I don't know why that matters. It's just one of the random notes I found while I was researching things. So the overly complicated way of looking at this, you'll end up fighting a lot of boring enemies over and over and over again, that it doesn't matter at all how you fight them. You especially want to have your memory cursor on for this. But yeah, battle formations in this game. A battle formation is basically a specific group of enemies. These are separated into 64 packs. In each pack, there are 8 possible battle formations, though, well, we can grab these guys, though you know what, I don't even need to. These are the special ones, the dark ones that we found in the caves in Narsh by failing the security test thing. I don't think they're things particularly useful, but whatever. I don't think their rage is all that good, but it's just kind of hard to get because I think that's the only way to encounter Dark Side maybe in the game. I could be wrong. But yeah, so there are 64 packs. In each pack there are 8 possible battle formations, though some of these are bosses that won't appear and some of them are empty and have no enemies. It's very confusing and overly set up there. Anyway, first battle should be from pack 1 at the start of the area. Templar, this one we definitely want. So let's get Ga to leap here. This is why I was talking vaguely about the fight last time we fought those Templars. If you're wondering, down here is where the cave is, Crescent Mountain. And here's Leafer, basic enemy from the start of the game. But yeah, so your first battle should be from pack 1, and then your next battle, or one, will be the next pack in the line. So basically, if this time we're in pack 1 and we don't know anyone that's in pack 2, we'll skip to pack 3 right away. So it'll always go up like that. There is one way around that, and that is if you save on the Veld and then reset and then load that save, for some reason it'll skip you, or at least it's supposed to skip you 13 packs forward for some reason. I don't know why this is. I have no explanation for it, but it's a thing that's listed in the guide or in multiple guides. And I don't have a great understanding about how this process works. I just have my basic explanation that I would like to kind of share with you here. There's one other enemy I would like to at least show off before I do basically the rest of this stuff off screen, because I'm going to find the rest of these guys off screen as soon as I find the one guy I want to show off. Maybe I'll cut in between there. But yeah, I have a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that I would like to get at this point. And those are basically the only ones that matter at this point. And of those, 3 are basically essential, 2 are nice to have, and the other ones aren't required, but are just decent enough that I would like to show them. Trillium. This one is under the list of in the middle. So it would be nice if Gaw would come back after or in this fight so that we can get that and take care of that. Here's hoping. I also have to heal Cyan. Come on, Gaw! Yay! We got Trillium too. Perfect. Well, I was going to do this so I don't have to do it off screen, but I'm going to have to do it off screen. Or, well, in the menu. Alright, let's waste some tonics because tonics are garbage. Antidote, and do I have an eye drop? I have an eye drop, so I'll use it. It doesn't matter, but it's there. Alright, I'll show you one more fight, and I'll skip until I find it. Okay, this is one of them. Unfortunately, I don't have the ribbon equipped on Sabin at the moment, but we will hit you with this. I'll probably show the other ones if I happen to find them. He's going to use Berserk. It's going to hit this time because I don't have the ribbon equipped, but I should be able to kill him regardless. Now, this was an enemy in a chest earlier on, and the reason why this is important... He's going to hurt me with Tech Laser. Let's see if we can finish this guy off pretty quickly here, because he does do a bit of damage. Unfortunately, Gaw is not behaving and not doing his job, which is to use a special ability instead of what he's, his normal attack, which kind of sucks. Originally, he was a monster in a chest, meaning he dropped a green beret, and we can now get infinite of them as we cycle through the list of the other, as we fight all the enemies on there, and so we can get more HP for more characters, which is good. Also, the iron armor I forgot to give, and he's equipped with nothing. Let's give him things. Iron helmet, kung fu suit. I have a second piece of iron armor for later. Yeah, he can't equip any weapons, by the way. You'll notice his battle power at 109 is higher than anyone else's. He has a pretty good physical attack by default, but the main kind of strength that he has, or at least will get, is through his magic, and that'll become apparent a little later once I get to show off all the abilities that I've learned. I'll show what the enemies look like if I happen to run into them before I switch over to the other emulator, in which fast forward actually works, because it's a time-consuming process. But yeah, other than that, I will see you when I'm done. Okay, here's a good example of a boss who actually shows up here. The Marshall fight from the beginning of the game. This one is absolutely imperative. Make sure that you are able to leap this one. Very, very important. Alright, this is another one of those ones that's really required. The Rhodox enemy. Gaw, as you can see, is currently gone, so I'm hoping against hope that he decides to show back up after this fight, making things go really, really well for me. They did not in my test run. Please, please, please. Aww. The reason why I wanted you guys to encounter all the different battle formations of them earlier in the game is because they show up in this next battle pack as well. In this case, I didn't get so lucky. It just gives you a higher chance of running into them again, which is what you want. The higher your chances of running into them, the faster you're going to get that rage. Rhodox is another one of those rages that you absolutely need to get. There's that one, the martial one, which we got a moment ago. And last but not least, there is Stray Cat, which, other than Rhodox, I think is the only one I'm missing at this point. So I will hopefully see you in a very short amount of time. Alright, this time we found Rhodox enemies, and I can just straight up leap and get them. So that leaves only one more enemy to find, and you'll see that in a moment. Okay, we're back. Now, I wasn't able to find the Stray Cat, which is the final one that I'm looking for, and it's not apparent that you have to get it right now. It's just before the end of the game, you'll want to get it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show off why we wasted all this time grabbing a bunch of these for Gaw here. So I'm going to make a save state, and we're going to show off what each of these does. This one casts Fire 2. We don't have access to Fire 2 yet, so this is really, really good. The Templar does Fire 2, has the Auto Safe, which is Auto Protect ability, and is weak to poison. Not only can their attacks be single targeting, they can also be dual targeting, or, well, all targeting, basically. And I don't know what I just did. I have background input set. What is going on with my notes here? I had background input set for my game, and I pressed F2, which is my key to load the state that I made, and I was selecting something else, and something else moved, and I have no idea what just happened. But anyway, I'll figure that out later. So we got you. What else? Hazer. Like I said, the chances of him using it are 50%. I've given him the running shoes. As you can see, he's got the haste aura. This one is Bolt 2. Again, single or all targeting. In the case of that, let's see here. It's this guy is also weak to Pearl. It doesn't have any other specialties. The Templar was weak to Poison, if that matters, which it doesn't. Rhodox. The reason why this one's important is it's our first access to an instant death ability. And in a lot of RPGs, at least of late, instant death attacks really aren't that special, but in this game, instant death is very important. In this particular case, it's called Snare. Snare has two effects. One, it instantly kills the enemy. It's only single targeting, but in addition to that, it also gains, it'll delay any counterattack or any action made by the enemy after they would normally die. So if they had, something special that they did after battle or after, as a counterattack, it would skip that, so you don't have to deal with that, which is really, really nice in a number of situations. We won't have access to anything else like this until like halfway through the game. It is ridiculously good. Pterodon. This one isn't as necessary. I like this one more than I like Templar, because it's a fire attack that, called Fireball, hits all enemies all the time. Fire 2 sometimes will only hit one target. I believe that one suffers from split damage, so it won't do more damage against a single target. Let's see. I'm looking for Primordite. This one is early access to a status effect that we wouldn't normally have access to, and I believe that's Stop, if I remember correctly. If Gaw will do his job and cast it. Stop casting Firewall on me. This isn't Diablo 2. Numbblade. This casts Stop and is really useful because the game doesn't expect you to have access to Stop this early. Meaning you can cheese a lot of things with it. It's really nice. Primordite also makes Gaw weak to lightning. Most rages will make you weak to something. Sometimes it makes you strong to something. Sometimes it gives you, other status effects. Let's see. Trillium. Trillium gives you early access to the Biospell. It's a poison access spell, single and all targeting. Those guys all happen to be immune to it, so it doesn't particularly help me here, but it's there. Stray Cat we'll go over when we actually get it again, but basically it only does a normal attack, and its special is a normal attack times 4. It doesn't do 4 separate attacks, it just quadruples the base damage of that attack. This is useful in certain situations, and I will go over those later. But if you have heard something about Wind God Ga, you'll want that for later. All right, so yeah, the super important ones are Stray Cat, which I didn't get, Rhodox, which I did get and demonstrated, and the most important one, Marshall. You will be using this for 2/3 of the game. Marshall does more than just normal attacks. Marshall was that boss from the very beginning of the game. Marshall's special ability hits all enemies, even when you're in a pincer attack, and it does not suffer from split damage, so it does its full damage the entire time. And this video game is being rude. All right, let's try that again. Use your ability, Ga. Please do not repeat the same stuff you just did. Game. Come on, Ga. Well, that was just a normal critical. That's not helping. Yeah, the Martial Rage uses... Would you just use it already? It's hard to introduce things when you're not seeing it on screen. The most important thing is it doesn't suffer from split damage. Are you... All right, we're going to get another battle here. The chances of him using a special ability are 50%. Well, there you go. Wind Slash. Wind Elemental, very few enemies are immune or absorb wind elemental damage. Hits all enemies all the time, even when they're on different sides of Ga, which isn't the case for things like Fireball. And it's just really, really good. There's nothing better than basically just giving him Marshall and letting him go to town. Because you get into fights, you use Wind Slash, and you literally win. And this will be the case for almost half the game. He's really, really good. Anyway, interruptions aside, that's pretty much all I have for you today. That's basically the down low on how to use Ga. Like I said, if you're trying to get a specific one, there's a great rage guide on GameFAQs that you can use, and it gives you a list of all of the different packs. So you can go and select, say, in my case, I'm only looking for the Stray Cat. The Stray Cat appears in 2 packs, pack number 7 and pack number 8. Now, like I said, if you save and then reload your save file, it will skip you forward 13 spots, so it gets you closer to that one that you're looking for if you're trying to get it. I might put some time in to do it, I might not. I will be coming back to get more rages for God later, but he's already shot himself up as being almost as good as Edgar in taking out large groups. The only thing that holds him back is the fact that he only does Wind Slash 50% of the time. Of course, before I started doing it on screen and I was just using him to clear out enemies as I was trying to get Stray Cat, he was using it like 80% of the time. Of course, I get on screen and no. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to go over for today. Ga is a lot better than people give him credit for. He's really, really powerful. This is how I have him set up at the moment. Give him earrings, running shoes, because he's controlled by himself. Giving him running shoes means he gets more turns, more chances of using Wind Slash, and that's how we're gonna go about things for the next little while. That's how everyone else is set up. And next time, I will have gone back into town to heal, and then I will meet you down by the Crescent Mountain cave that I pointed out earlier. That's all for this one, and I'll see you guys next time.